Welcome to the Rich Thinking Experience, where you can escape the 9-to-5 and live your dream life. Hear from millionaire entrepreneurs from around the world who will give you advice on how to start and grow your own internet business, as well as advise in the areas of sales and marketing, investing, and overall personal development. The Rich Thinking Experience with Rama Siva starts now.
If you have ever had an idea and just wish you had just done something about it, well, today we have a local person from Stevenage who just did it. He's the founder of trusttrader.com, where millions of people look online for honest and reliable tradesmen. Welcome, Gary.
Welcome. Yes, hello.
So let's start from the beginning. What happened? Where were you? What inspired you to do what you do today? How did you get started?
Right. Prior to Trust Trader, I was a taxi driver for 10 years. And I always wanted to start a business, but I didn't know what. And me and a partner started on various things. One of our first ideas was Pink Squid. Now, Pink Squid was going to be, the cartridge inks, the refills, and there was no cartridge world or anything at the time. So the first thing we done there, we sourced some inks from Hong Kong, China, and the problem was the quality of the inks, the refills, wasn't good enough. So that was our first fault. And I had my house renovated, and I used PubMates, Yellow Pages, which was the director at the time.
Which year was that?
Oh, this would have been about 15 years ago, 14, 15 years ago. The project should have took 6 months. It took 2.5 years. Some of the tradespeople were really good, some were terrible. And if you went to Yellow Pages, not knocking Yellow Pages, they just advertised us. So what there was then, there was some accreditations out there, and there was also a place where people just advertised a directory. So the idea was to put the two together where as a source of income and work for the tradesmen, where the customers can get someone that's accredited, vetted, and if they have a problem with the tradesman, they've got somewhere to go, so something can be done about it. So that was the initial idea. We started off in a small, tiny office, Southgate House in Stevenage, just me and the partner. We had to cold call them, and we wouldn't launch the website until we had 80 tradesmen on board, and that was the hardest thing, because the website wasn't launched. So we're saying to people, to tradespeople, join us, special offer £99 a year, but there's no website yet. Your year will start from when the website gets launched, and it's like selling fresh up, really hard, but we managed to do that, and we started off, our first radio advertisement was Chiltern Radio. Now we tried various things like papers, which didn't work for our industry, leaflets, and we thought we've got to try and find a way to publicise. And we did try AdWords as well. That was too expensive, didn't work for us either. So we tried a local radio station, Chiltern. We'd done that for about 3 or 4 months. And what happened the first couple of months, we wasn't getting any inquiries from Chiltern Radio. And I didn't understand, never done radio advertising, didn't understand it at all. So I had an outsourced sales office in Portsmouth. And some of the people in Portsmouth, they were real Portsmouth fans. So Portsmouth approached me about basically being their second mainline sponsor. They were in the Premiership at the time. And we needed something to say that we're actually here to stay, we're not going to be one of these companies that comes and goes. And they wanted £140,000 to be the second main sponsor.
Which year was that?
So this was our first 2 years.
So 2007.
About 2007, approximately. So they wanted £140,000. We'd know £140,000, because we started the company up with me and my partner put £25,000 each, which is nothing because the first website cost that, £25,000. But I negotiated down to £28,000, plus they let me pay out over 12 months. That's because Portsmouth didn't have any money then, so they haven't got any money now.
Indeed.
But what it done, for the actual sales officer had, it really inspired the salespeople, because they're all Portsmouth fans, and we could sign up people, so we started signing up people in Portsmouth. But at the end of the contract on the radio, we started getting inquiries. Problem is, we couldn't afford to advertise on the radio and do Portsmouth, so we had to stop the radio, which was upsetting, but we had no choice. But then as we got some income, then we decided to go back to radio. But along the way, I had to risk everything, because the first 5 years, 5.5 years running this company, didn't take a penny out of business, so no wages. And the tax rate, I was earning a good living at the time. I used to 100 hours a week, so more than everybody else. And I was earning £15 a week at the time. So I went from that to earning nothing. And I had to remortgage my house to put that into it. So did my business partner at the time.
How much did you put into the business?
We ended up putting £83,000 in each. And if it went wrong, I'd have had nothing. I'd lost my house.
That was a big gamble.
It was a big gamble.
But how did you feel doing it? Were you confident that you were going to succeed?
Well, I always had the fear of failure.
You always had a fear of failure.
So it's not about, for me, it's not about money and being successful. I can't have the thought, I told you to fail. So going to see my peers and they're saying, I knew it, because what happens, especially in England, it's different in America. I'd say at least half your friends and half people want to see you fail.
In the UK?
In the UK. They don't want to see. As it's gone on now, everybody's sort of saying, oh, you've done so well, but it wasn't like that.
Yeah, in Australia, I think they call it the tall poppy syndrome, isn't it?
That's it, yes.
Yeah, they like to chop you down.
So what I was doing then, I was working here from 8 at night to 8 in the morning, Monday to Friday. I was driving a taxi from 8 at night, I had to rent a taxi because I had to sell my plate and everything else, put that into the business as well, to 4 o'clock in the morning. Going to bed at 4, getting up at 7 to come into here. Now on Fridays I used to work till 6 in the morning, come and work at Trust Trader till about 12 o'clock, play rugby on the Saturday afternoon for Stephen's Town, finish rugby, go back to work at 6, work till 6 o'clock the next morning. Then I used to train the under 8s at rugby, I had a little youth team. So I used to have to be round at rugby club again at 12 o'clock to train them. Do that, go straight back out to work on the Sunday. So I was basically 4 hours of sleep. I'd done that for 5.5 years. But it's just determination. I wasn't going to let it fail. But then after 5.5 years, I started getting a wage, and obviously it's where it is now over time.
And what were your daily tasks that you used to do from 8 in the...
I've done every aspect of the business. So, I've been doing a lot of telesales, trying to get people to join, especially in that first time, running the admin, running the complaints. I mean, when I was in Portsmouth, I'd go down to Portsmouth, when we had the outsourced office. I went in there to see how the team were doing. Never been a manager, never done sales training, nothing like that. And the lady there, she had an office of there's about 200 people working for her. So they had 20 working on Trust Trader, but then obviously doing other projects. And she had a sales trainer in. And part of that person's remit was training my guys and girls. And they said, well, why don't you get on the phone and show us what to do to the sales trainer? He said, I don't get on the phone. I said, you won't get on the phone? And the guy said, no. I said, right. I don't think you're a very good sales trainer. I'll show you do it. So I sat down, put the headphones on in front of the 20 people, spoke to someone, luckily he signed up, and they're all infused. And Jill asked me if I'd train all the team up, even though I'd never done anything like that before. So that saved her £5 grand a day. So what really helped us, she gave us a load of 3 hours on the telesales. So it was, that was good. We've always had to grow the company, put all the profit back in the company, because I didn't want it to get to the company to be worth. See, what I could have done, played safe, when it was just begs, arts and bucks. We've got to the point, say it's cost us £5 grand a month, we're taking in 10 grand, we're not going to make £5 grand a month forever. But it's never going to be a multi-million pound company. And my thing was always, within 10 years to have us fully national, my remit is always to get the company to be sold for at least 20 million, which we're on the road to doing at the moment. So it's always been, so it was always pushing the boundaries. It was Beggs, Arts and Bucks, then we expanded, the expansion might be Milton Keynes, it might be another area, then it was London, and then it was the whole of the North West until we're fully UK wide now. Now, we did advertise in TalkSport. Now, the reason, and I knew nothing about radio advertising in the days, by the way. I've learned as I've gone along. I knew nothing about SEO, search and optimization, which I know quite a lot as well. And TalkSport is an 83% male population that listens to TalkSport. So when we was advertising specifically for tradesmen to join, that was a very good radio station. But as we've evolved, it's just as important to get plenty of customers to use our tradespeople. So obviously when I've researched, for instance, I won't advertise on category
No.
because the audience is too young.
Okay.
So I'm always looking really for 25 plus because our tradesmen will have 2 years experience, so there's no point having an 18-year-old because they're not going to have 2 years experience, and they've got to be qualified as well. So we do things like heart, smooth, the older generation. Because a lot of middle-aged women is our demographic, but also the tradesmen, they'll hear the radio adverts and they'll realise if we're advertising for the public to use a trusted trader site, we must have tradespeople. So that's what we've done. And obviously, you know, radios work very well for us. The reason we haven't done so much TV as yet is because TV is more expensive. But we've just, the idea is we want to do as much radio as TV. So we've done a little bit of TV advertising on Sky, because you can get a cheap package for that. And that's about 35 grand a month. But now we're looking at sponsorship. We do sponsor the Anglia weather that covers the whole of Anglia region. But, you know, I'm considering putting in a bid for a major TV programme. I can't say what it is, because... So that's something that will grow. So we've gone from 80 tradespeople the first year, 73 of them are still with us. We've got well over 4,000 now, and they're all rejoining. Our membership's gone up 25% this year. And we've gone from charging £99 a year to £699 a year. Because you can never be scared to put your prices up.
Please carry on.
Yeah, I mean, just talking about prices, through the process of running this business, we've gone through 2 recessions. Both times we went through the recession, I put our price up. Because if you put it down, it's very hard to get it up again. And if your product's good and it's working for people, don't be scared to charge more for it. Right?
So you value yourself.
I value myself, value the company, and I know the return they get from the tradesman. Because we don't just alter. From day one, I decided I want to be an honest, open company. And Trust Trader's meant to be, you know, my personality, a very honest person. And I want the whole company to be open and honest. So we've always done phone the tradesman rather than automate renew. How have you found it? Would you like to renew? Now it takes longer, it's harder, but if you believe in your product, you're not scared to talk to your customers. And then even if you get, you know, someone that's not happy with the product and say it hasn't worked, it's a very good learning curve. You can find out why they think it hasn't worked and try not to make that mistake again for another one of your customers. You know, and a lot of people are scared, aren't they, to put their prices up. They're scared to phone and speak to their customers, and you learn from your customers. I will say, after the first 2 years, my business partner, he'd lost all belief in the company ever making it. He said, "I can't do this anymore, Gary," and he actually walked away and left me on my own to do it. So I had to do everything because he needed to work. He wouldn't get another job. He wouldn't work the hours I'd work. But he's back doing the same things he was before he started Trust Trader, and he retained 5% of the company. So I've got to be shared with him. So, but it's just you've got to have total belief and know you're going to make it.
Did you have this belief when you were a child that you were going to be an entrepreneur and be successful?
I always thought I was going to be a millionaire. Didn't know how.
Just like Del Boy.
Well, maybe so. You know.
I love Del Boy. This time next year, Rodney will be millionaires. That's one of my motivations.
Even things I've done, something that did work for a year. It's going to sound a bit strange. I was a professional gambler for a year.
Okay.
Now, I wouldn't gamble at all now. I only bet money I can afford to lose. But I guess business is a gamble. You've got... The fact that I was a professional gambler was willing to gamble is part of the reason Trust Trader made it. Because... You
gamble your house, basically.
Yeah. If you're not willing to take a risk, take a chance, you're never going to be successful. You may do well, but you're never going to start up a company. You've got to be willing... You know, my first radio contract, remember when we started the business was 50 grand, was £36,000. Now, the last radio contract I signed, various was 1.3 million. But it's a lot of money, but you've got to have that in you. Know. Now, when I was a professional gambler, I was getting, a mate of mine started up actually an internet site and the races and the horses.
I interviewed a guy called Michael Wilding. He's the owner of raceadvisor.co.uk.
Right, okay. And my mates say they're the same thing. And for a year, you get 3 to 5 ratings. My mate, he owned bookies as well, by the way. He's very successful and I made a living out of it. And I thought, that's how I can be a millionaire.
Uh-huh.
But then the tips stop winning, and you realise it's not the way forward.
And where did you get the tips from?
From my friend who started the site,
Okay.
his dad's got racehorses and stuff,
Okay.
and they give everything between a 1 and a 5-star rating,
Okay.
and it was a lot of grades on weight for age and lots of other stuff, and they got inside information, whether that's good or bad, but
Yeah.
they did. So that's what I've done, stuff like that to make it. But because I've got that gambling instinct, by the way, the day I started the business, I stopped gambling, that sort of gambling, if you like.
Do you remember the exact date you started?
Yeah, June the 23rd, 2005.
Where were you?
Where was I? 19 Blackdown Close, which was my friend's house.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
In Stevenage?
In Stevenage, yes, great Ashford.
Okay, great Ashford.
But the first 6 months, it's just establishing business, getting offices and getting going and deciding what you're going to do.
So,
And
what was the first step? Did you get an accountant, or did you just get a limited company set up?
First,
your website domain name?
the first thing we done is thought of the name, because remember I said the ink company was going to be called Pink Squid. Now I know ink comes from an octopus, but Pink Squid don't sound as good as Pink Octopus, does it?
No, it doesn't.
And the logo we had done was someone squirting ink, and I know that's not quite correct, but it just looked better that way.
Yeah.
So we was always going to do that, and then yes, we thought the name, and Trust Trader, in my opinion, is a much better name than some of our rivals. Because my builder
I've seen,
says builders, doesn't it?
Yeah, I've seen rated people.
No, but it's not as good as
No.
So I come up with, well, me and my partner come up with the name. It was a joint thing that was, and then then we settled into company. Then we looked for a small office because I didn't want to run it out of my bedroom.
No. How much did you pay each month for the office in Salgado?
Well, the initial one, because we was looking for something cheap. Because remember we had £50,000.
Yeah.
When the website cost 23, that doesn't leave a lot.
No.
So it was about £500-600 a quarter. That's all.
Oh, that's pretty cheap.
But the reason being, there was a company, I'm not saying the name of the company, that they had the whole of that side of the floor, and they were struggling financially. And I done a deal with them.
How did you get that deal? Did you know someone, or did you just go and knock on the door?
Well, what I done, I knew Southgate House at the time only had 40% occupancy.
Indeed, it's empty. It's now flats.
It's coming back flats. And the first thing I done, I spoke to the security guard. I could have went to the estate landlords and all the rest of it, but then I was thinking, well, that would be more expensive. I didn't want to get solicitors involved too much at that time. We didn't have a lot of money. And I just said to him, is anyone in here, that would be willing to sublet some of their office? And if there is, would the landlords allow it? And he said, I think they would allow it. I know there's a company that, struggling financially. I need to name the company, no longer anyway. So I just went up, knocked on their door, said, look, there's just two of us. You've got this little tiny bit of the office down there. Would you do us a deal to sublet? There's just me and that partner. And that's what we've done. So I've done a deal with them to sublet the office. And then what happened?
So they gave you the internet, the...
Everything. Yeah. Well, we couldn't have a lot of money. We had to do something on the cheap, to be honest, at the beginning.
Fantastic.
And then...
Well done, Gary.
It worked out quite well. And then...
Because I started my company in 2005, but I was just doing like fixing computers and those type of things. And then I learned about SEO. So I started a niche website doing free international calls, and I was quite successful in doing that. But I always wanted to have an office, but I never thought about that. That's a brilliant idea. It's a good tip.
It was a cheap way to get into an office, basically. And plus, I didn't have the commitment of a 3-year, 5-year lease. Even though I believe in it, you don't know what's going to happen at the beginning. And so then we sublet that, and then what happened then is that company did go under. So then we got our own, after a year or so, year and a half, we then leased that little bit of the office, and eventually we took over, my partner left, and I started getting a few staff, we took over a whole of that side of the floor, then we had the whole of the third floor at Southgate House. Now, when we talk about offices, I don't know why we talk about offices, but I knew that they wanted to convert it into flats, like the office was previously, and I knew a lot of people were leaving the office, and office space was going to start to go up in value and cost. But I also knew they couldn't complete that development while we had the third floor, because they've got Landlord and Tenants Act. They couldn't just kick us out. We had 2 years left of our lease. So what I done then, I started looking for an office space, which is the office we're in now.
Yeah.
And I negotiated with them where not only did they give me my deposit back, which you never get back if you rent a place, there's always a reason why you don't get it back, but they also bought out the rest of my contract and paid me 12.5 grand to leave, which paid for all the removal costs of the new office. So which is, and this thing now, it's gone up. Even though I'm locked into a 5-year deal with my lease, the new office has been let because it's 100% fully occupied now. There's still the cars parked everywhere. And it's going to come up 40% in the year that I've been here. So again, it was the right time to move to get the office at the right price.
Awesome. So let's carry on. And so you mentioned that you do radio advertising. Is that the most successful form of marketing for your type of business?
I think that and TV it's really. But TV, look, there's a lot of positive. If you look at, which obviously I do, you can look at the ROIs on different forms of advertising. Now TV per pound spend on the research does come up the highest, then radio's about second highest, and after that you've got paper media, and you can go down to outdoor advertising, for instance, and that's mega expensive.
How do you track the value of your adverts? For example, if you pay X amount of money for a station, how do you see the value?
There's lots of things I do on that. It's not a very easy answer. So first things first, when people, so we don't cold call as a company, so everybody approaches us. So we do have the basic drop down where you hear us, was it heart radio, was it this? And we're on, for instance, 33 different heart stations.
And do most people click the right one?
No. A lot of people, some people do, some people don't. That's what I'm saying. But we can make an assumption. If they say heart and they're in Oxford, there's a good chance it's Heart Oxford. If they say heart, even if they clicked Essex and they're in, I don't know, Somerset, that clearly, so I can work out.
So you have someone dedicated looking at the responses of.
Yes, I can see the responses. We call them their website. But then also what I do is every year I break all the areas in the country up. So for instance, Essex, I do it in counties. So I look how much money we spent on radio advertising in Essex. So on that I'll have heart radio, for instance, cost me X amount a year for Essex. But then I look at something like, we're not on it now, but Absolutes, for instance, station done. Now I know I'll work out what percentage of their audience is in Essex. So say it's 7%. 7% of that, so 7% of that cost for will go to Essex, if 5% to Sussex, from wherever it be. So smooth radio, I'll work out what percent. So I'll know how much that radio advertising cost me for that area.
So you do that yourself, it's not delegated to someone else?
I do it along with my accounts lady who's worked with me for 5.5 years, but it's me that tells her what to do. And
And where did you pick up this knowledge? Is it just trial and error, or did you
just learn?
Just learn on the job?
Yes. I mean, I left school with no qualifications whatsoever. It was a very bad school. I turned up one exam, wrote my name, and I thought this is not for me. But I've always been very good at maths, which is not algebra, mental arithmetic. Even we had a meeting the other week with because our trade can take credit cards for us as well, which we've got a partner in that. And my accounts lady said to their MD, if we had to tell you anything on the accounts, I know. I mean, things. I don't know why. I can tell you every payment that comes out and comes in over the next 30 days. I'm not going to bore you with that. You just know. So you really, cash flow is so important.
So I think we were discussing how you track the
radio
advertising.
Or any advertising really. And so I break the areas down to all the counties, and I work out what my radio spend is in each of them areas. But cost is so important anyway. You've got to know where your expenses are going. But I'll also how much it costs per membership pack. So all our members, they get a membership pack with vehicle stickers, feedback forms to give their customers, an ID card, because all our members carry a photographic ID now as well. And that's £23 per person. Then I work out my staffing costs, and I split that amongst 4,000 members, so I know how much my admins for each member every year, whether it's renewal or a new person. Then the office costs, so I know I can break down that area's cost us say £100,000, and we're taking in
really sorry to interrupt. James is at your house for the key.
Yeah, he's there. But tell him Michael's on his way with a key as well.
Was on his way.
But it's under the plastic bins by the front door. But if you can't find it, Michael's going to be there in 5 minutes.
Sorry to interrupt. Right.
Bloody tradesman, eh? But I can find a good tradesman. I'm all right. So I can work out all my costs for every area and work out, how profitable that area is, or even if it's losing money. And with this business, this is where you've really got to be willing to stick at it. If you're going to do it properly, so I could have been one of the things here today, gone tomorrow, made a quick buck if you like. But I was always in the long term, because I went to build a company up to be sold for 20 million. That's not going to happen overnight.
And that's been your dream since day one?
That's been my aim.
Aim.
My aim.
Why 20 million? Is it just a number you picked up on the air?
It's just a number I decided was where I want to be. I mean, part of it, I want it to be seen as at least a medium-sized company. So I didn't want it to be sold as a small business.
Okay.
So the value of turnover and all the rest of it. And that's just a figure I decided on. And then, so it takes us, every area, it takes 4 years to make a profit.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why for 5.5 years I didn't take any penny out of the business and all the rest.
Yeah.
So what happens, because we won't, we haven't cold called for 8 years, and that was always my vision. I wanted traders to approach us, but that's never going to happen in the beginning, because no one knows who the hell you are.
So for 2 years you cold called?
2-3 years, yes.
3 years.
Now I've never done any telephone sales.
No.
And I always remember the first calls. What happened? Me and Russ were sitting there. This is part of the reason he's not my business partner, but he's still one of my best friends, by the way. So I'm not knocking him. So he dialed the number. I picked up the phone. I dialed the number for him. He picked up the phone. So we were scared to make phone calls. Now after we made 5 phone calls each, Russell said, "I can't do this." So I said, "You're saying to me, Russell, unless I make myself do this, we've just wasted £25,000 each." And he said, "Yes." So I had to do it. So for 8 years we haven't cold call whatsoever. Everybody comes to us now. But what happens? So in the first year, so if I take the Midlands as an area, in the first year it costs £85,500 more to promote in the Midlands than we took in. But that's been subsidised by the areas we've been for more than 4 years.
Okay.
The second year, if we're lucky in a new area, and obviously them new areas are bigger areas as we've got bigger, we won't lose any more money. We'll break even over the year because we've got renewals. So we've got people that have joined, we get more well known in the area, and obviously you've got renewals. The third year, we'll get about half our money back. So we'll make a profit now of £40,000-50,000, or we did in that area. By the end of the fourth year, we'll have all our money back. But then once we've got that base of tradesmen, and it's successful for them, we make money every year. So as we've grown, the profit-making areas, it's all been put into growing the company into new areas. But then there's only a couple of areas we haven't been in 4 years now. So that's Scotland and North East. So they're losing money, but then Bedsards and Butts are making 1,100% on. So that,
Why do you think you're making a lot more in Beds, Heart and Bucks?
Well,
Is it because you're a local company?
No, it's because we've been established longer.
Okay.
Because we first started there, so we've been advertising for 10 years in there, it's 11 years. Where Essex is very good for us, but we've been advertising for 7 years. But we've only been 2 years in Scotland and Newcastle.
Okay.
We're 5 years into the Midlands now, so when that gets to 7 years, so once the area starts making a profit, it just makes more profit. Providing we continue to offer the service we do. And there's things that happen that I always remember. I knew London was going to be a key area for us because obviously it's the main city, so many people there. I had an approach at that time from a guy representing LBC, London Broadcasting, which we're on now, by the way. And he's come to see us, and he said, "No, you want to you'll get loads of people signing up." And I said, "How much is it a month?" And I said, "Well, I can't afford that because basically, if we don't get the sales back within 3 months, we'll have no company." He goes, "Yeah, but Local Hero on here, they're doing brilliantly well." I goes, "Are they? Well, good luck to them." He said they're getting so many sales from it. And then 2 years later, when we can afford to do London radio advertising, because radio, it's on the more people that listen to the station, the more expensive the stations, they charge a CPT cost per 1,000.
Okay.
But they are like double glazing because they'll have a rate card and then you have to negotiate as low as possible. And so when we could afford it, I said to the guy called James, who was still there as a representative, I said, we are now interested in it, you know, and obviously negotiate the costs. Look, because at first, when I first read it, I paid far too much for it. I didn't realise how to negotiate. You learn that as well. And I said to him, what happened to local heroes? He said, don't talk to me about them. I said, what do you mean, don't talk about it? He goes, they went bankrupt after 6 months and didn't pay us half their bill. So it's so easy to, you know, do stuff that's not the right thing to do.
Indeed.
You know, I can remember AdWords, for instance. I know nothing. By the way, when I started Trust Trade, I'd never even switched a computer.
Really?
I'd never been on the internet whatsoever.
So you started an internet company, having no experience
On the internet?
using a computer.
No. Well, what I recognise, if I went to make a national company, the only way to make a national company with £50,000, which we had at the time, it had to be the internet. How on earth are you going to have offices all over the country? How are you going to have shops all over the country?